Alright, working on this garden tractor, walk behind tractor, whatever you want to call it, and I got the carburetor all back together, and here's that little part that I made. I put a little knob on the end there, so maybe we'll put a spring on here and stick it on there. It's just an adjustment, so there you go. Alright, so that should hopefully it'll work. This thing will probably leak, but you know, what are you gonna do? I might see if I can find a rebuild kit for it, but for now it's what we got. Alright, let me show you what else we're gonna do. Alright, I'm gonna work on this thing now. Alright, when Mike left off with this, he wasn't getting a good spark. He was getting a spark, but he wasn't getting a good 1/4 inch crackle like we like and we're used to. And I think he tried two coils, and the magneto was good. Everything checked out good. Even as the wire, we changed the wire a couple times, and we just weren't getting a spark. But we really didn't clean this up the way we should. So I'm going to take it apart and maybe clean it up and see what we can do. But before I do that, I think I'm going to get rid of these studs. I don't know why the guy has these in here, but it just makes it tough to get the head on and off, and it's they look ridiculous. So right now I'm going to go and get them off. And then after I take them off, I think I'll wire wheel ahead and clean that all up. All right. I wire wheeled this, and it cleaned up pretty good. Got some pretty deep grooves in here. I don't know why, but we'll hit that with a file and make sure everything is smooth there. I don't know if you guys remember, but the guy had this head on without any gasket and just epoxied it on. So while I got the wire wheel out and stuff, you see here's big blobs of epoxy here. Look at it. Even inside the head here, it was epoxy, just falling apart. Look at that. I'm sure that's been spit through that engine and out through the exhaust. So, alright, let me chip all this away and then clean it up. Alright, I cleaned up pretty good, and I hit it with a file to make sure it was flat, and it wasn't flat. Right here there was like a little valley, so I wouldn't say the head was warped, but I don't know, maybe that's why this guy got rid of the gasket and epoxied it. Maybe he kept having problems, but it's flat now, so we shouldn't have any problems with that. Alright, let's continue on. Let's find out why we're getting a weak spark. Alright, here's what I did so far. I changed the wire, but before I changed the wire, the other wire, when I pulled it, I got one crack out of it, and it went the distance of that, which is about 1/4 inch. But after that, nothing. So I'm thinking, you know, we're pretty sure the coil's good, and the flywheel's good, and points, you know, points are good. I'm thinking, you know, we put a brand new capacitor in there. But when I say brand new, I mean it was out of the box, never used. But this could have been on my shelf since the 70s or 80s, and then before I got it, it could have been, you know, somewhere else for another 10 years, who knows. So I'm going to do is I'm going to take everything out and put a capacitor in there that I know is good, and we'll try that. Alright, I think we got it. I changed the capacitor in there, so let's see what we got here. Alright, that's what we want. I like that so much I'm going to do that again. That's what you want. You want a big 1/4 inch crackle and spark like that. Alright, let me show you what I took out of there. Alright, this is what we had in there. It was brand new right out of the box. Here it is here. And here's a capacitor meter. Let me try and do this with one hand. Not so easy. We almost got it. Alright. And it checks out good. It's supposed to be 0.20 microfarads and 0.19. You know, they give you, I think, plus or minus 10%. So you know, it reads good, but I don't know what to tell you. You know, it wasn't cutting it. All right, let's continue on. All right, since we're going this far with this engine, here's the points cover, and it's got a big dent in it here, and it's all rusted up. And we got plenty of spare parts for these engines, so I might as well just throw a new cover on there. It's funny, this here's the original, and it's looks like it might be galvanized or something. And the newer ones are aluminum. Interesting. Like I say, I'll have to check. I don't even know what the year this engine is. So since we're changing that, I think here's the governor, the air vane governor. And like I say, they have a homemade plastic one on here. Might as well change that too. Yeah, this is going to be pretty much all new stuff on there. It's crazy. Oh well, we got the parts. Might as well use them, right? All right. I think next thing I'm going to do is, since we went this far, I think I'm going to lap them valves while we got everything apart. All right. Alright, put this new cap on here. Let's tighten it up. New capacitor, condenser in there. Also, Mike was telling me he thought the spark plug here end might have been a little loose. He says it was getting bad readings on this. Here you go. I don't know if you can see this. There you go. I guess I was okay up here. So, because actually the only thing that holds these in is you squeeze them together, and there's a little pin that goes and touches the wire. So what I did is I took it apart and cut off the end and squeezed it back in there, but I also soldered it on the bottom, so there's no chance of getting no contact, and that should be okay. Alright, while we're down here, let's take this off. Yeah, I did a little research on this. This shouldn't change my space there any, so we'll be okay. Somebody said that this was original. This isn't original. This is plastic, and back in 1942, which this engine is, they didn't use plastic, so somebody did a good job in fixing that, because you can see there's all epoxy down here. And this is what belongs there, a metal one, so I'm going to replace that. Like I was saying, I did a little research, and this is a 1942, at least the engine's a 42, and the machine, from what I could find, is a Breedy. And there's another one called a Garden Aid that I think was put out by Sears, but it has a different handle. This handle is just got an L bracket up there, you know, it moves the engine back and forth. So I'm pretty sure, like 99.9% sure, this is a 1942 Breedy. Alright, let me put this other piece on here and see what it looks like. Alright, get a little change of plan here. These things are slightly different, and the only difference is, let me see if I can figure out where you're at. Okay. The only difference is this one here is an L, this little controller, and this one here is a Z shape, and it sticks out. It goes out a little further than this one. So if I put this one on, then this controller would be inside here, and it actually has to be on the outside, like there. So this is going to go back on, and to make this, just to change that rod, the guy has this one epoxied on there, and he did a good job on this. I mean, it's plastic, but it'll work. And this one here is metal, and this one's soldered together. So, you know, I'm not, like I say, this wasn't meant to be a project. We're just going to get this thing running. So, all right, this is going to go back on. All right, put the flywheel back on. Now, I'm going to check to make sure that we still have a spark. All right, we're winding it up. Alright, good crack. Now, I want to check make sure the spark plug is good. I'm going to throw a spark plug on there. Alright, this is the plug that came off of it, and all I did was clean it up, so let's see. Alright, good spark. That'll drive you crazy if you check everything out and you still can't get it running, and sometimes it's just a bad spark plug. Alright, I'm going to take these valves out now and check them out. Alright, we took the valves out, and they look decent. I mean, they were seating. Get down here. Here you go. This is the intake. This is the one that was hitting the top of the head, and this was seating good, and the valve seat looks fine. The bottom down here is a little buggered up. It's got like a little gouge in it, but I think I can clean that up with the file. Is the exhaust. This is the way it is. This is exactly the way it was when I pulled it out. Had this little spider cocoon on here, and even a little spider carcass. You know, when they shed, I think that is. But I didn't pull that off yet. And this one looks like it's been cut before, and it looks pretty good. But let me show you what's going on over here. All right, the main reason I want to take them valves out was I wanted to see if this was the top of the head or the bottom or top of the cylinder was flat. Because I don't know if you can see. This might help or hurt you. Oh, the light was on. That's what was hurting you. Alright, but it's pretty gouged up here. Like somebody must have hit it with a heavy-duty file or sandpaper or something. And maybe at one time there was some rust here. But this exhaust valve and this seat isn't the best. So I think I might cut that. Cut a new seat in that. But this one here looks pretty good. I didn't want to do a valve job on this. Like I said, I didn't want to do anything to this. I just wanted to get it running. But I can't let it go like this, so maybe we'll cut both of them. And that one valve, the intake, maybe I'll give that to Mike and let him cut that at home. Yeah, here's the intake. It's actually got like a little notch in there, which is okay. I checked the tolerances, and they were both dead on. I think the intake's supposed to be 8 thousandths and the exhaust 15, or vice versa. I don't know. But these look like, you know, they weren't bad at all. I mean, I didn't clean these. I didn't hit these on a wire wheel or nothing. So somebody else must have at one time. And this one doesn't have much carbon on it at all. This is the exhaust. So, yeah, let me clean these up and then we'll check out the top of the cylinder. Alright, I ran a file over the top of the block here to see how flat it is, and it's not flat at all. I can see why the guy glued the head on and stuff like that. But somebody must have tried to make it flat and didn't do a good job. You know, you can see where I filed up here, and that's flat there. But then you still got like a little indent here and little indents here. I can probably fix this up, but I'm going to have to cut both of the valves and re-gap them and stuff like that. So I didn't want to go that far, but you know, we're this far into it. We got to do it now. All right, let me do a little more filing and get this thing flat. You know, the right thing to do would be to mill this, but I'm not going to do that. All right, I don't know how well you'll see this with the reflection and stuff, but I got most of it. You know, I got all the way, this half from the piston just up to the valves, and it's all perfectly smooth now. And I'm going to go a little further, and I'm going to try to get this. It's probably be better, probably be fine the way it is, but I'm going to keep going. And I'm taking off quite a bit of material here. I'm surprised. You see the big dust. But you know, we're making a junk engine into something that's going to be usable again. So, and we're going to flush it. So don't worry about all this metal dust and everything. But we're almost there. I've only been working on it for about a half hour. Let me give it another half hour and we'll see what it looks like. Alright. I got that head about as flat as I'm going to get it, and that's pretty damn near perfect. But look who popped in.
Oh, it's me, Mike.
Yeah, hey Mike. Yeah, I asked Mike, I was able to get him on the phone, and I caught him before he was coming out of the big city. And I asked him to come take a look at this, and maybe take that valve home. What do you think? You think?
Yeah, this one right here with the little groove in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll clean up nice. No problem there. This one's not that bad at all, but I'll give it a spin on the grinder, make it brand new. And the stems aren't. I can feel a little bit of wear in what's this? The exhaust valve. The intake is perfect though.
Mm-hmm.
No problems there.
I didn't, you know, I didn't think I felt any play at all when it was in
Yeah.
the guide, so I think it'll be okay.
Okay. Good.
So there we go. We're gonna send you home with that, and you think you'll have it done by Wednesday?
Yeah, I'll bring them back on Wednesday when I bring the head for the overhead valve back.
Okay, that way I can get this the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming along good though.
That's good. Get it running and send it on its way.
That's it.
All right.
Put it up for sale. Alrighty. Enough of this for now.